I've been informed by a solicitor that my husband is having an affair. Yesterday morning, I was contacted by a solicitor. I was confused because I don't have any need for one for anything. She told me that her client is seeking divorce from his wife due to the wife having an affair. Their investigator found the affair is with my husband, and the client asked the solicitor to inform me since my husband is married. She provided me with proof of the affair. My brother-in-law is to be married on Saturday, my husband is the best man, and is already there to assist with everything. Me and my 5-month-old daughter were supposed to leave on Friday morning to join them. My husband is unaware that I know. I am shocked, but the proof is right in front of my eyes. I haven't told anyone, but I have asked my sister to come over after work. I'm going to ask if my daughter and me can stay with her. I don't think that I can face him at the wedding. I don't want to hear excuses. My sister's husband is a solicitor, and while he doesn't do divorces, I will ask if he can recommend someone. I have to talk to my sister, but I'm mostly just getting my thoughts out on here because I feel entirely scattered. OP on if the solicitor who contacted her is a real and licensed person to inform her about the affair. OP says, yes, of course. The solicitor who contacted me is a licensed solicitor. The proof was not photographic but included videos, voicemails, and receipts. I would question a singular photo, but not this. The solicitor informed me that she's not able to advise me or take me as a client due to conflict of interest, but will provide the information to my solicitor should I pursue a divorce. OP on exposing her husband's affair and her excuse for not attending the brother-in-law's wedding. I think I'm going to tell him that I was exposed to COVID, so I have an excuse not to go, and then tell him that I know on Sunday morning. I don't want to tell him before the wedding because his brother and his brother's girlfriend are lovely people, and I don't want anything to spoil their day, including my husband being upset while playing such a big role in their wedding. I would feel awful if I did that to them. He's giving a reading at the wedding, a speech at the reception, helping his brother prepare, and doing other duties to ensure that it goes smoothly. I don't care how he feels, but I don't want his emotions to get in the way or spoil the day for the bride and groom. It's for their benefit, not his. I respectfully disagree, and with the wedding only days away, I will not do anything to spoil it. There would be no time to bring someone in to do all the things my husband is responsible for. It is hardly a sacrifice to wait another day. I don't even want to tell him until I am at my sister's anyway. You may disagree, and that's fine, but I'm thinking of his brother and the bride and their day. OP responds to multiple comments about not leaving the house, kick the husband out, transfer her money from their accounts to a new bank account. OP says, we do not own a home, we rent a flat. Additionally, we must be separated for 2 out of the next 3 years in order to obtain a divorce. I will not be remaining in our flat. I can get my own once I am ready. If I emptied the accounts, I could be subject to trouble during the divorce process. That is not allowed. Does OP know anything about the other woman, and if she knows about the divorce in progress? OP says, I have no idea who the other woman is. The solicitor who contacted me informed me that her client will be telling his wife about the divorce next week and told me to do what I needed, so I have time. CMill3 says, I'm so sorry. That is an awful situation. Miss Definition replies, OP's husband is terrible. The fact that he can help someone, brother-in-law, with their wedding while cheating on his own wife is telling of his moral compass. Blade982 replies, I know someone who supported his best friend through a really tough divorce. The reason for the divorce? His best friend's wife had an affair. So this guy is there constantly for his friend, as is his wife. They have him stay over, they drive him to therapy, they send him meals, they take him on days out together, and around a year later, everyone finds out that he's been cheating on his wife for a couple of years with a coworker. Our ability to compartmentalize is crazy. Miss Plap says, I'm so sorry. I'd make sure that he can't cut you off from any shared accounts or anything. If his affair partner is about to be served with divorce papers, chances are that she'll give him a heads up and ruin any advantage that you may have for knowing of his affair while he doesn't know that you know. You sound like a smart lady. Get a place to stay with your child, get your ducks in a row, and leave him. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. Plus, be sure to take any important documents with you. Birth certificates, social insurance card, passports, etc., and anything especially sentimental that would be hard to replace. Open a bank account at a different bank and move some money over. Yeah, incredibly tough 2 years ahead for you in this transition period, and it's unfortunate that it's going to take 2 years to fully remove yourself from that marriage. Here in Australia, we have to be separated for 1 year before we're allowed to legally divorce, 1 year and 1 day. And as much as it sucks, it's better that divorce is at least, legal, as it was not legal in a lot of countries not too long ago. I'm looking at you, Ireland. 25 years ago, divorce was not legal. Also, no-fault divorce was not legal here in Australia until 1975. That is crazy. And now, onto the update. So I told my husband that I had been exposed to COVID and could not attend the wedding. My sister helped pack, and she's letting me and my daughter stay with her until I find a flat. Someone I work with has a family member who has one that I can afford that's available in January. When my husband returned home on the Monday, there was a note telling him that I knew about the affair. The husband of the other woman was going to be filing for a divorce later that week, and I would not be far behind. My sister's husband is a solicitor, and he recommended a divorce solicitor to me. My husband and I both have jobs. We don't own a home. At the advice of my solicitor, I opened a new bank account for myself, but I did not touch any of our joint accounts. I'm not stopping my husband from seeing our daughter, and my solicitor said that the law will favor sharing of custody. Unless it's about our daughter, I told my husband to have his solicitor talk to mine. I won't discuss anything else with him. Once we've been separated for 2 years, we can get a divorce. My solicitor said that there is no way to shorten the time requirement. Thank you everyone who showed me kindness. OP on the country's laws for divorces, and if there are any strict laws regarding infidelity. OP says, Ireland. Divorce was not made legal in Ireland until 25 years ago. Before that, divorces were not allowed at all. Until 2019, a couple had to be separated for 4 years, not the 2 years that it is now. Divorce is no fault. It also would not make a difference anyways, as we aren't wealthy, don't own a home or any significant assets, and are both employed. OP on using an app to communicate with her soon-to-be ex-husband regarding co-parenting with their daughter, that's what we are doing at the recommendation of both our solicitors. I have held firm on only discussing things related to our daughter. Anything else goes to our solicitors. And on to the last update. The update is that I am now divorced. I live in Ireland, and it's a requirement that couples live apart for 2 years before they can divorce. There are no exceptions under the law to this. It used to be 4 years, and up until 1998, divorce was not legal in Ireland at all. My daughter and I lived with my sister for almost 3 years before I moved us into our own flat. My husband and I did not own any property, and I legally had no authority to ask him to leave the flat we had while we were married. So I left instead. On the advice of my solicitor, I opened my own bank account and left our jointly owned accounts alone to be settled in the divorce. While we were living apart, my husband and I used an app to communicate about our daughter, and everything else was through solicitors. I haven't talked to him about the affair. I haven't talked to his family or friends, and I don't have social media. My husband carried on seeing the other woman for several months after I moved out, so I'm sure everyone knows he had an affair, but that isn't my problem now. The only thing I talked with him about is our daughter and anything relating to her. We have joint custody, and I will pay him maintenance. Fault is not considered in a divorce, and affair doesn't affect custody. I do not have to pay maintenance to my husband for himself, since he is already living with another woman, not the one that he had an affair with, and plans to marry her right away now that we are divorced. If he had been living on his own and not about to get married, I would have had to pay him maintenance. I have never met the woman that he had an affair with, or her husband, or their children. My focus is on my daughter, and I am civil with their father for her sake. But I don't care about looking on social media or talking to him about the affair. I've never talked to him about it, and I never will. I only care about my daughter. Apologies if my update isn't exciting. I am divorced, there is no drama, and I know that's usually not exciting, but some people have been messaging asking for an update, and I wanted to say thank you to all of the lovely people who offered me support during a terrible time. Camp 808 says, actually, for a boring/non-exciting update, it's basically a very good outcome. He's someone else's problem now, and not having him pay maintenance above all else is absolutely huge. Congratulations, OP. I hope you continue to heal and are surrounded by folks who love you and your daughter. Tack Wombat says, boring updates are good updates. And the commenter is right. The ex is going to be someone else's headache now. Stunning Strength 522 says, I think it was actually pretty exciting, in the sense that it is both exciting and distressingly rare to see women treat themselves well and detach themselves from terrible men without giving those men any undue headspace. I agree, this is a very unexciting update. She didn't gaslight herself that his actions were actually okay and went back to him. And as we actually see a lot with cheating situations, oh, it's actually the other woman's fault and I need to go verbally assault her over text and in person because she's stealing my man. I think that phenomenon is so crazy and hilarious in a way because it's like, how detached from reality are these people? But the fact that I harp on about that when this is such a normal and relaxed update means, I want that drama. But this is such a great, healthy example of letting go of someone that has done you wrong and instantly just cutting them out of your life. The not going on social media at all thing as well is like next level monk mode kind of detachment from everything. Good on her for that, but I don't know if I could keep myself off of social media personally. And also I'm going to say thank you, OP, for coming back and giving us that update after 2 years. I know a lot of people will just abandon Reddit and keep us on the edge of a cliff indefinitely. Thank you for pushing us off that cliff. Thank you. What do you guys think about this one down in the comments? I'd love to know. Our next post is by user Impressive Series 117, and it's titled, How can someone who isn't invited to a wedding be considered responsible for giving a gift? I have a group of friends, though not all of them are truly close to me. Most of them are more friends by association, but we all go out together and have a good time. I do consider Maddie and Jessie to be real friends. For Maddie's birthday, I got her a cake. Jessie had a small civil wedding, and Maddie offered to bring wine for the celebration at her place, while I offered to bring a cake. There's a girl in the group named Carly, and my relationship with her is neither friendly nor unfriendly. She's always shown some apathy towards me, and I know that she doesn't really like me. I don't dislike her, but I get the sense that we wouldn't be friends since we have different perspectives. During the celebration, Carly commented that she liked the cake, and Jessie mentioned that I had bought it. Carly said that it was good, but that it tasted a bit dry. Everyone exchanged looks and changed the subject, but Carly kept talking about the cake, and I didn't say anything about it. Carly had been planning her wedding before Jessie got married. She used to invite Maddie, Jessie, and other girls to discuss prices and ask for opinions on things, but she never asked me for help or advice. I had assumed that I wasn't going to be invited. Everyone else got an invitation, and I wasn't surprised when I didn't receive one. Jessie wanted to talk to Carly about it, but I asked her not to, as I didn't want a pity invitation, and I understood that Carly wouldn't invite me because we're not friends. Jessie told me that she wouldn't attend if it would make me feel bad, but I told her not to worry about it. Then, Carly messaged me on WhatsApp to ask about cake designs and filling options. I thought she already had that figured out since her wedding was coming up and she had been planning it for a while. I sent her the catalog, and she commented on a few options that she liked. She asked if I did the setup, to which I replied yes, and sent her some example photos. She only reacted to the photos with a thumbs up, and we didn't talk any further. She didn't ask for a quote or schedule a consultation, so I assumed that she just wasn't interested in my service. This was over a month ago. Today, we went out to eat, and everyone was talking about the wedding. Her fiancé asked who I'd be bringing, as I'm single, so I told him that I wouldn't be attending. He asked why, and to keep the mood light and to avoid drama, I mentioned that I'd be traveling to visit my parents. He understood, but Carly asked me when I was leaving. I told her that I'd be leaving on Wednesday, and she said, "The wedding's on Saturday. How are you going to set up the cake and desserts?" I asked which cake she was referring to, and she replied, "The one you're bringing to my wedding." I told her that we didn't have anything scheduled, and she insisted she had our messages. I clarified that I had only given her options and setup photos, and since she didn't follow up, I assumed that she wasn't interested. Her fiancé asked if anything could be done about it. I explained that the bakery requires a contract and a deposit. Maddie asked if Carly had paid a deposit or requested a contract. Carly replied, asking why she would need to, since it was my wedding gift to her, and that I should make sure that she had her cake for Saturday. I explained that I don't handle the bakery's schedule, and that with the wedding so close, they wouldn't accept a new order. Carly seemed upset and looked very uncomfortable. I then asked for my bill, paid for it, and said goodbye, saying that I needed to go. I really don't want to lose my friendship with a group since I'm not from this city and I've felt comfortable with them. I don't want this to create tension, but I also don't know how to handle conflicts. I know it's a bit sad that I can't stand up for myself and would rather avoid confrontation. Maddie told me that after I left, Carly said that it wasn't fair for me to back out after agreeing, and said that some people in the group hinted that maybe I didn't want to go to the wedding because I didn't want to give her the cake. Jessie said I wasn't invited, and Carly replied that she had invited me. Zoya Tulip says, "It's not okay for her to expect a gift, especially a big cake, from someone she didn't even invite to her wedding. You were right to tell her that you hadn't agreed to make the cake. It makes sense that you wouldn't want to give something so big to someone who doesn't seem to like you very much." OP replies, "And especially for me to give her that gift when we don't even have a relationship." Kuet replies, "Message all of your friends and Carly in a group chat and clearly state that she didn't invite you. And for future interactions, there is nothing wrong to say that you haven't been invited when you haven't been invited." Chewy Runtbutt says, "Not the asshole. Carly is awful. I don't know how much I would want to be friends with people who would be supportive of the way that she's treating you. It's a good thing that Jessie has your back, but Carly seems to be set on causing major issues for you within that group." And OP says, "I don't even know why she doesn't like me." Have replies, "I do. She probably doesn't like you because you are no nonsense and don't go out of your way to please her. She tried to devalue your cake and make it worth less so it would not be a big gift. Even if you were close friends, she should have offered to pay normal price. You are not the asshole." I actually agree with the way that you handled this situation though. You tried not to make drama. You tried to let her be honest and truthful about the situation as it stands and why this occurred the way that it did. But unfortunately, when it comes to people that live in denial, and seemingly I would say that Carly's a bit of a narcissist, absolutely, she's gonna continue to lie and shift the blame to make it seem as though you're the one with the problem and that she is not at fault, which she has done. Does she get off on the fact that she knows she didn't invite you to the wedding, and then she gets to lie to everyone and say, "No, I did invite her to the wedding. We even agreed to it over text. Check the text messages. The invitation's in there, her agreeing to it and saying that there doesn't have to be a contract. It's all in there, man. Trust me, bro." Like, when that energy is just brought out to you face to face, I don't blame OP at all for saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm actually going to be traveling to see my mum that day." That's a perfectly valid excuse. It might be a white lie, yes, but it's better than saying, "Oh, what do you mean? You didn't invite me, so why do you expect a cake? And we didn't even have a conversation about it. What's wrong with you?" For me, that's just too much, so I respected OP. As to how you navigate the situation without breaking the friend group apart because of Carly's nonsense, I don't know, I don't have an answer for that one. And now, onto the updates. So I read a comment that is how updates are done here, and I hope those who gave me advice and asked for an update can see this. To those who asked why I didn't stand up for myself and let things get so out of hand, as I mentioned before, I don't like confronting people. I get nervous, feel like I can't breathe. When I had presentations in school, I used to throw up before and after each one. Sometimes I've even kept items that I didn't order or didn't want just because I was too embarrassed to exchange them. I've been in therapy, and thanks to that, I am now able to work as a cashier in a bakery. I don't think I could have done that before. I've come a long way, but I still get nervous speaking in public. I have a younger sister, and she used to go everywhere with me. I'd give her the money and she would pay because just talking to the cashier would leave me breathless. I know people often feel sorry for those who seem weak, and I don't want to be seen that way or treated condescendingly. Someone sent me a private message asking our ages. I'm 21, Maddie is 30, Carly is 30, Anna is 31, Carly's fiancé is 31, and Jessie is 30. I can see the root of the issue here. There is a gigantic maturity gap and where you guys are in your lives in this friend group. Okay. I hope that helps clarify a bit more. And now here is what happened next. Someone suggested what I could say to Carly, and I sent it to her. She replied saying that she thought I wouldn't mind and that I owed her a gift anyway, and she had chosen the cake as her gift. I replied that only guests are responsible for giving gifts. She asked what I meant, and I clarified that she hadn't invited me to the wedding. She left me on red. Oh my god. She can't even defend her own bullshit. I messaged her fiancé something like, I don't want to cause drama or any misunderstandings, but I didn't commit to giving her the wedding cake. I sent him screenshots of our conversation, and he called me right away. He apologized and said that he thought that it was odd when Carly told him that I offered to give her the cake. I mentioned that it seemed even stranger to me since I wasn't even invited. He asked if I was serious, and I told him yes, but that I wasn't upset and understood if it was something private. He apologized again, and we ended the call. Around noon, Carly messaged me saying that I was making a fuss over nothing, as if I couldn't just give her the damn cake. She didn't understand why I was being so sensitive, saying that I'd given Maddie a cake and Jessie one as well, and asked me to explain why I couldn't do the same for her. I replied that Maddie's cake was a birthday cake, and although Jessie's was for her wedding, it wasn't a wedding cake. Carly answered that it didn't matter what the cake was for. I told her that if that was the case, she could just go buy one from the supermarket. She started typing, but I blocked her before the message came through. And then Carly sent a message to the group with only the part where I told her to buy it at the supermarket, saying that it was insulting and showed her how little I valued her wedding, so no one could say that she was the bad one. I responded to the group with a suggestion that someone gave me in a comment, which I adapted a bit. Hey everyone, I want to clear up some confusion and rumors. I won't be attending the wedding because I didn't receive an invitation. I understood and made other plans for that time since the rest of you were invited. I'm not hurt or upset, as it is what it is. The confusion about the cake is as baffling to me as it is to you. I only provided information on models and fillings from the place where I work, and that's all. I don't understand why it's expected that I cover a cake for a wedding that I'm not invited to. It's true I suggested the supermarket, as she said the purpose of the cake didn't matter. I hope this clears everything up. I wish you all a wonderful time celebrating Carly and her fiancé. Congratulations in advance to the happy couple, and I hope those who are not involved don't feel caught in the middle. I posted screenshots where she reacted with a thumbs up when I sent the samples, along with all the conversations from that day and today. After a while, someone commented that the group wasn't meant for this kind of drama and that we should resolve it privately. Maddie jumped in and said, Carly demanded the cake in public, so it's only fair that everything else is explained publicly. Another girl, let's call her Anna, commented that that's not the way to ask for a gift. Carly saw everything and sent a voice note saying she didn't know a simple cake would ruin my finances, but that it was fine and that I shouldn't have shared everything in the chat. Then she sent a second message saying that when I get married and don't have friends who can help me out with things from their jobs, I'll understand what it's like to be without support. A guy replied tagging her, "You didn't invite her?" And Carly responded saying she had sent the invitation. Another guy asked, "Do you have the confirmation?" There was no reply. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Carly says, "No, but she should have told me when she saw she didn't get the invite." Jessie replied that she didn't like Carly's attitude, that she even considered not going, and would only attend for the fiancé's sake. Carly then said, "Just so no one says I didn't invite you, everyone can see here that I'm inviting you now. I'll send an electronic invite since there's no point in printing one now." I replied not to bother, as I already had plans. Carly replied, "There, you all see." Then, someone who hadn't spoken left the group. In the comments, question, since you blocked her, how were you still receiving her text messages in the group? OP says, I panicked and unblocked her again. I knew she wouldn't stay quiet, and that's when she posted in the group. Then she messaged me privately again. I haven't replied to her privately anymore. OP on if she knows the fiancé will leave Carly for what she's done. I don't think he'll leave her. They've been dating since college, and he is very much in love. And in danger. OP on the wedding cake details that Carly told her about, and how Carly expects her to be able to whip out the cake on such short notice. I was thinking about all the types of fillings that she mentioned. Some of them can't even be used together in the same cake. Also, cakes are priced by the pound or by the number of guests, but I don't know how many guests that she will have. How was I supposed to assemble a cake without knowing what type of supports I would use? I don't know what kind of decoration she already has, and the supports, cylinders, tables, and trays are priced separately. If she had made a contract, I wouldn't be the only person she had talked to. I don't understand how she could take so many things for granted. The wedding is on Saturday, and I found out about it on Sunday. If I hadn't gone out with them, how was I supposed to find out about it? If I had agreed on Sunday, I wouldn't have been able to have it ready for that day. Beach Polini says, "Oh, so it's a bunch of older adults who should have their shit together, bullying a much younger one, and then calling it drama when she dares to air out that the bride-to-be was lying about her. How sweet." I hope that OP finds real friends, though at least Maddie and Jessie might be worth keeping. Snoo replies, "That was my first thought when OP posted their ages. Carly is 9 years older than OP and trying to bully her into getting a free wedding cake. That's probably why she thought that it would have worked, especially if she already knew that OP gets so anxious about confrontation." Honestly, Carly needs to be sorted out. She's just despicable. And if I were Carly's fiancé, I would unironically just be putting the wedding on hold, putting the relationship on hold as well, because if she can go out of her way to do this much damage to someone so much younger than her with so much little life experience, who she knows is vulnerable and in the past, at least not now, in the past, would cave to immense pressure like this, why would I marry someone like that? Those are all just compounding factors. The fact that she can go behind your back at all and then continuously lie to you, that's strike number one. That calls for putting the wedding on pause. The mask slipped and just cracked through the floorboards underneath her, and he's like, "This is fine. I'm so in love with her. I've sunk so much time into dating her. 12 years at least since college. I'm gonna see this shit through. She may be crazy, but she's my crazy." And you know what? If that's the mentality that these people have together, let them be married so that they are removed from the dating pool. I'm so serious right now. Thank you, OP, for the story. I appreciate you sharing that with us immensely. I do hope that your journey through that anxiety that you are plagued with gets better in the future, and that you're able to learn from these situations not to associate yourself with dickheads like that ever again, if you can help it. So again, thank you. And I'd love to know what you guys have to think about this one down in the comments below. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought about any and everything down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.